On Afghanistan, Secretary Mattis said we are in a strategy-free time in Afghanistan. What does that mean to you?
What it meant, he was talking to Congress, and what it meant was we haven't yet finalized the civil-military campaign for that. And he is working with Secretary Tillerson on this. He has just been at the NATO ministerial, the defense ministerial, talking about that, presumably getting some commitments from NATO countries. If we provide X number of additional forces, can we get a like number or something like that from you all? And then he said publicly that he wants to go back, sit with Tillerson again, and work out some of the issues. You know, there is a really good relationship between the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of State. If you think back, that has not always been the case. And there's a great relationship between the two of them and the National Security Advisor. Again, not always typical in these very, you know, these sometimes you term these, the challenges there are ego management.
Yeah. But some people would look at Afghanistan and say 16 years and we're sending 3,000 to 5,000.
Fair enough. And the answer to that is, look, we went there for a reason. It's because that's where the 9/11 attacks were planned. And we've stayed for a reason, to ensure that that won't become a sanctuary for al-Qaeda or the Islamic State again. There's a certain affinity that the Islamic State even already has, and al-Qaeda definitely has, for eastern Afghanistan. And for the life of me, it escapes me. I've spent time out there, a fair amount of time on the ground as the commander, and before that as the Central Command commander, after that as CIA, and you know, the attraction of Tora Bora and these mountainous areas is a little elusive. It's not quite Aspen on a good day. And
very hard to get a facial.
It is, it is, it is. But there is this attraction,
yeah.
And they keep trying to come back, and we therefore need to stay. Now again, this is where, to come back to what I was alluding to earlier, you know, we've had tens of thousands of troops on the Korean Peninsula for over 65 years. Now, I'm not saying we need to do this for 65 years. I'm merely saying that if you can have a strategy that is sustainable, and again, we're not losing troops in Korea, haven't lost them for a long time, and you need a sustained commitment, then maybe that's appropriate. So I think one of the challenges with the previous administration and the previous administration was there was always, of course, a pressure to draw down.
Yeah.
And you have to. Again, what we were doing in Iraq was unsustainable. We had everything possible out there. If it was anything else, I would have asked for it. And we had to extend our tours to 15 months from 12 months, which is long enough for the Army already. I ended up doing 19 and a half that time. These were long, long, grinding experiences. But if you can get those numbers down and then keep them in that range as opposed to trying to just go to zero.
Yeah.
And President Obama wisely did halt. He did not carry out what he had intended to do. And so that's why I think. And I do think that additional number, with the relaxations on the use of our air power, and perhaps some augmentation of some of the platforms that we have. By the way, keep in mind also that Afghanistan is the platform for our, quote, regional counterterrorism effort. Without going into what the CIA might do from there, certain members of the press have certainly reported that there are certain things that emanate from Afghanistan that may actually terminate in, say, North Waziristan of Pakistan and so forth. And of course, it's publicly known that the raid to get Osama bin Laden was launched from eastern Afghanistan as well.